Game number 1, winner bracket semifinal. We are in the Korea Cup, everybody, and we got Team Beast Titan against Team Reverse. So, best of 5, we switched from the round of 8, the quarterfinals, which were best of 3 matches, into a best of 5 system now. So, Beast Titan against Reverse is our first semifinal in the winner bracket. Keep in mind, there is a losers bracket here, so whichever team loses drops down, the winner advances to the grand final, to the winner bracket final. This is the winner bracket semifinal. Yeah. It's been already a long day. It was a very busy day, actually. It's Saturday, so Saturday means that we're going for big bike rides. So I was out in the Spanish sun and just enjoying the weather. And I have a friend that's lived here for a year from Ireland that now came back to visit for 2 weeks. So I was catching up with him a bit this morning, which was quite nice. And now we get Heroes of the Storm. So awesome. Vala gets banned. Again, very typical for the Korean server, very typical for the Asian meta. Get Vala out of the picture. We've seen her in one single game and that's about it. But she is currently my go-to example to showcase differences in priorities between the Western scene and the Eastern scene. So Vala much higher prioritized when it comes to picks and bans in any of the games that we are seeing here. And off we go. So this is what I dubbed the Korea Cup, in case you're tuning in just now. It's officially called the Healing League Season 2. And if you are somebody that watches a lot of the games on YouTube, if you're watching a lot on Twitch, then you know that we had a Healing League actually last season. So it's a little bit misnamed because it's not technically a league, it's a tournament, double elimination system with a winner and a losers bracket. But it is the second iteration, so hence the name. We had the last one play out in 2023. And now they are running the second variation of that. So Diablo gets picked. He's coming in pretty quickly over here. And with that now, let's see what we're getting. Diablo, obviously, Towers of Doom is again somebody that can bully hard. We've seen him even banned out a couple of times, but Team Reverse is now quickly locking him in. And yeah, I don't know, looking at the two teams, this should be an interesting one. I think if you would pin me down, I would probably, in this case, given past performances, give Team Beast Titan the upper hand. But Team Reverse could for sure give them a run for their money and could make things very, very interesting here. We got Blaze and we got Brightwing. Then on the other side, opening things up with Junkrat and with Leoric. There is another one, by the way, that I've seen now a few times prioritized very highly, Leoric. Much higher than I would expect it. I mean, in one of the games we even had him as a first pick. So definitely something to keep a bit of an eye on. There are of course differences in meta, not only when it comes down to the hero picks, but also some of the talents that we've seen. Especially when you're talking about the first round of the tournament, it's sometimes a little bit tricky to tell if that is just them funning around a little bit and just fully being aware that they are the favorites and that they are about to take an opponent on that is much easier or much weaker than they are. So when we talk, for example, about the Junkrat Rocket Ride picks that we had, there could definitely be an element of that too. So we'll have to see as the tournament continues if we're going to get more of those or if that starts to disappear once that we're moving deeper into the tournament. What we're definitely going to see a little bit more is that Chen pick for Capybara. It's something that I've been highlighting even outside of this tournament quite a lot, because when we're talking about him playing with a Chen main tank, the first time that I saw it, I was like, what is he doing? Like, how is that going to work for them? He doesn't have a stun, like, what's going on there? But he is doing this so well and really helps the team to engage and disengage in battles that it did wonders for them in a lot of Battlefield of Eternity games in the first tournament that they were running. But now let's see what he can do in Towers of Doom. Imperius and Sergeant Hammer as the final pick, so a triple frontline now to protect Hammer for Team Reverse. They're going to go full Sergeant on map number 1 in the best of 5 series. Yeah, and that leaves us with the final pick. So here comes Falster. We get Falster and Junkrat, Chen main tank, Leoric on the side lane. With that, we're kicking things off. Winner bracket semifinal, number 1, everybody. We have Towers of Doom here at the Korea Cup. Team Beast Titan on the left side of Towers of Doom in our first game of the best of 5. We have Chen and Leoric at the front line for the blue team. Chen, as already mentioned before, is playing in the main tank role here by Capybara. It's one of his specialties, and together with that we get 4 damage Falstad and Junkrat, and we got Anduin, played by Hyde in this case as a support for the team. As over on the right, Team Reverse, after the victory in the the round of 8 is now playing things out with Diablo, Blaze, and Imperius. So 3 frontliners whose job it is to protect Sergeant Hammer as the sole damage dealer. And of course we have Brightwing in this case as the healer. Now, noteworthy in that context is of course that Imperius, specifically when you are not playing him as a main tank, can actually chunk out a lot of damage as well. So they will mainly rely in big fights on Sergeant Hammer and her ability to particularly punish the frontliners. But then again, you also have Imperius that can at least chip in some damage on the melee front. With Chen in the mix, it will be interesting how Hammer is going to dodge that completely, because the way that Capybara plays this is usually that he very aggressively uses Chen to either engage or disengage with the barrel, with the Keck plays, and for Sergeant Hammer that could become a problem later on in the game. Now at the beginning, of course, it's all about getting Sergeant Hammer to level 7 first. Ooh, Neo nearly turning Leorki here. Yeah, I get Sergeant Hammer to level 10, to level 7 as quickly as possible, so that they're able to use mobility on her, so she's a bit less stationary. But, well, with that said, on level 1 we're now getting Consume Vitality, we got the Eye of the Tiger for Chen, and over here Gathering Storm for Falstad. So the stage is essentially set for our first map in the best of 5. And I'm a little bit curious. As I already said before, if you would put a gun to my head, I would probably say the blue team, given past performance, is going to be the favorite. But we've seen already upsets in the round of 8, so I would actually not be surprised if we're going to have a tight one here. That's one of the cool things when we're now having not as many tournaments on the Korean server. It is oftentimes pretty hard to judge who's really going to be the team doing the work. The last time that we had the Healing League, this tournament, play out, both Titan teams, Team Attack on Titan and Team Beast Titan, did pretty well, did fairly okay here. So now they're going to again try and make a run through the winners bracket. We get Siege Tactics on level 4 for Sergeant Hammer, Consume Vitality straight into the Ghastly Reach for Leoric. So, yeah, he's the next one to prep this up. And in the middle, they're going for First Blood, and they take down Imperius. Chen and Leo going straight in for the melee warrior on the other side. Imperius goes down, gets eliminated. And that was actually pretty well done. So, real nice play and First Blood for the blue team. We have the triple altar phase coming up, but the blue team sees an opportunity at the bottom of the map to at least move in and take some of the structures down a notch. But let's find out which team is able to take 2 out of the 3. Technically, of course, it can take all 3, but that rarely happens. It's not really something that we're getting to see a lot. And particularly, I don't think I've ever seen it with an A not being present in the game. Shots fired. So, quick connect again against Imperius. That could become a problem. So Imperius gets hit, and he gets hit hard, but this time he lives. Junkrat, on the other hand, had to be pulled out by Anduin, or that could have ended dicey for him. Nobody channeled anything yet, but Brightwing is able to get the first altar for the red team. So, yep, job really well done. Blaze, then again, is in this case also taken out, so that is the second kill for the blue team. Nicely done by them. And, yeah, with that, we're seeing 2 altars channeled by Team Reverse and 1 altar by their opponents. So Team Attack on Titan falling slightly behind, but they have a lead in experience. They grab the early level 7. So we're essentially going through the early game motion between the 2 teams, but nothing too impressive just yet either way. With level 7, of course, we have mobility now for Sergeant Hammer. That was already a really important milestone that they needed to hit, and now did. The pumpkin camps are getting claimed again, but everybody is starting to prep for the next objective, and also for level 10. That's also when Capybara on Chen is going to be able to make more moves on the utility side. So we have to wait for that, but this is essentially happening next. With level 10, he can then start to help the team either disengage or try and isolate somebody on the opponent's side and get a target killed. So those will likely be the plays that we can expect from him. And then with Light Bomb, there's of course also the chance to be the initiator in the fights and just move in and try to take some targets down. So that's another one that we could actually see from them. And he is going to try and play as aggressive as he possibly can. The shots again fired over here in the middle as they're starting to make more plays to try and take some of the towers and the walls down. The double altar phase is now spawning up at the top. Not really expecting anything too crazy happening. Very likely what is going to end up happening is just each team taking one of their altars. It's not really all that common that you're aggressively trying to push for your opponent's altar. That's not something that happens here a whole lot unless you're dominating right from the get-go. But now with this one, Haven is getting attacked. Fischer is already moving back out, and the camp is stolen. Nicely done. So, even Chen survives. Yeah, look at that. Playing aggressive in this case, but gets saved. So with Chen still being alive, thanks to Anduin, we now have them stealing the pumpkins away, moving towards the top with the rotation and trying to body block Rain a bit. But this time it's a little bit too much. Chen just didn't have the hit points to make such an aggressive play as he did. The channels are not happening as the teams are going for the altars, and this is, as expected, just going to be that even split in altar shots. So level 10 abilities are kicking in. No surprises yet. I doubt that we're getting any. Unless, of course, I mean, Junkrat is the only one that could still supply one. We have seen Rocket Ride. And Anduin is also maybe bubbling it up. That's actually another example of things that go yeah, it is again. So he goes for the bubble. He goes for the best word over here. Anduin, this is the third time, I believe, that we've now seen this in this tournament. So Korean teams really, really like bubble on Anduin over going into a stun. So that light bomb engage, it's not something that they're all that fond of. So pretty interesting to see that once again. It's still the Riptire. No other choices that are surprising. But this affinity for the bubble is actually interesting. So Chen gets attacked, but has to also be a bit careful. Imperius is a bit low, gets the help from Brightwing, but could still be targeted here. The same is true for the Fruit Fly. Falstad has not flown in yet. Now comes the kill, and Brightwing is the one that falls. 3 kills, 2-2. Brightwing is down, and with a mace to the face, Leo takes down Imperius. Nice. Another slow, another drain. Meteor is a bit too low and slow. That's the problem, obviously. If Sergeant Hammer is your only big range damage dealer that is supposed to deal with the opponent's high hit point heavy heroes, then you better make sure that you have him in those fights. And that wasn't the case here. So they were relying in the battle without Sergeant Hammer on the attack power of their melee heroes, and it did not work for them. So half a level until level 13. We now have 18,000 from Imperius. As highlighted earlier, he is able to bring in quite a bit of damage. Leo's top damage not only on his team but also in the game has been getting a lot of free drains here. In comes the bunker on the side of the blue team. But Junkrat goes down in the middle as we over here have Blaze in some trouble. Capybara wants to come in. Here comes Chen trying to make the play. Blocks the path. Gets stunned. And he went too deep. The delivery. Anduin gets caught by Imperius. And that's 2 more kills with Sergeant Hammer supplying the final shot. They're going for Falstad and the birdie goes down too. So, they wiped the entire team. 5-man team wipe. Nice. Very, very well done. So, with that, we now have the big plays made by Team Reverse, and they reversed the situation for sure. Huge team fight by them, and that was crazy good. That was really, really impressive here. Able to get the kills, 7-4, set themselves ahead with all of this. So, extremely well done. And Team Reverse now in a spot where they not only can take off a few more points of the opponent's core, but also look for more kills. Diablo nearly dying, but Brightwing saved the day. The fight not really over yet. The blue team is willing to fight here. They're looking for a kill. Chen too low, and even with the gust that came in towards the back end from Falstad, Chen falls. So Chen has died, and yeah, they channel the altar and they're jumping away. You know what else died? I was 2 kilometers away from my house when I came back from today's bike ride. And I had, I think it was either a bee or a wasp flying into the vents in my helmet. And that shitty thing stung me on my head. I hate nothing more. The last time it happened, it hurt like hell for like half a day. Now it was a little bit less. So once that I was at home and took the helmet off, it actually flew out. So I assume that it was not a bee, because bees usually die when they sting you. But if those things could stay out of my helmet, that would actually be pretty nice. But I kind of hope, honestly, that it died anyways, because it hurts! And it's also a little bit silly if you have that on your head. So, Falstad died, so hopefully that bee, wasp, or whatever it was, but that bell tower at the bottom of the map got also murdered. So a lot of death and decay just generally on this sunny Saturday. Level 16 talents now in the hands of Team Reverse. They're going to be very happy with how things are going. Ever since they won that big team fight and were able to kill 5, they've taken a massive lead. Not only in experience, but also now with bell tower control. We have them ahead on points on the core. And they're going to be the ones that are just moving in and channeling the altars again, I guess. Now they got to defend against the pumpkins down here, and they do. But let's see if they can at least get to 16 for that altar fight. That would help a little bit. But it's also more than half a level that they have to bridge there. So maybe they just have enough time to make that happen. But all in all, I feel in some of those instances the blue team just seemed a bit too confident. And were then punished for it. So can they maybe turn it? Can they do something? Not so certain. Brightwing has already channeled. That means 5 shots fired. So they're going to be down to 19. There we go. Meteor in the meantime. Channeling and gets the second one. So 10 shots in total removed, or 10 points removed from the core. Dropping it down to 14. So right now they're at 14 points to 32. And yep, that flipped quickly. Chen is trying to now turn it by, again, getting some isolated kills here, and that was a nice job pulling or pushing Imperius into the death zone. Now we got 5 kills, 2-9, and yep, that is looking pretty darn good. Another gust, and there's the play being made. They're trying from behind to now go for Sergeant Hammer with 1 kill against Imperius already. The goal is just to pin them down here, attack them from 2 sides and murder them. Imperius, Sergeant Hammer, they're both dead. The same is true for Brightwing. So 3 heroes fall. That's a nice chunk in experience they just got for themselves too. And of course it will allow them to retake the bell tower at the bottom of the map. So they are looking at a decent situation. 7 kills, 2-9. Things are starting to look a bit better. And this might just be the beginning of a comeback. They're way behind in points on the core, but they still have double digits. So this is salvageable. At the top, it seems like they're just trying to get Diablo here. Starting to slowly make a move on him. Falstad flying over. Chen on the jump, and Diablo will die. Diablo is gonna fall. They can't... Well, do you see? Okay, a stun, a push, a dodge. Leo comes in, slows, but they're able to get him out. Neat! I wouldn't have bet a single cent on Diablo surviving. I really thought they had him, specifically after Chen started to jump on him. So now he made it out. We have 100 stacks for Falstad. And high dice. The timing couldn't be worse for them. Top right, Blaze already challenged the first one. That's 4 shots fired, dropping them down to 10 points on the core. And with the team fight going the way that it does up here, they might lose another one. Falstad is at the bottom of the map. Gets at least 1 channel through and can now fly towards the top. Leo attacked 2. Sergeant Hammer is now slowly moving in. So far, they've been fighting the fight without her. Damage output, Hammer now in the driver's seat with the 45,000, at least on the red team side. Leo's still doing a bit better because of all the drains that he's throwing out, despite the fact that in this case now he dies. So, yep, there's the channel, and the red team got 2 out of 3, putting the opponent into single digits. 6 points against 28. Not bad. Pretty damn good for them. So, Team Reverse, they got lots of opportunities. You look at the minimap, you look at the health of all of those bell towers, and they are definitely damaged already. So there is potential here to take multiple. Or just simply get yourself a few of the pumpkin camps and see what you can do there. Capybara jumping out again, but yet needs to be mega careful. Especially with Imperius. But Gust gets used just after Anduin uses his trade pulls people out. Then again, the engage, the stun, and it's again Anduin that saves the day. If not for that quick pull on Chen, he would have fallen for sure. Leoric, he doesn't get one, so he dies. And now the play attempt again with the barrel, but Blaze gets away. And instead, Falstad, there, he's trying to get a kill, is able to grab it. The bubble from Anduin, saving Chen. Maybe now the opportunity, they're going for Dibbles, and he gets saved by Brightwing. Imperius is low, but it seems like again the team in red is able to walk away. The slow might stop Diablo here. He's still pushing them around as best as possible, but he gets out. Slows from Leoric and others. It's just crazy. If they would get these additional kills that they've been fighting for every single time, then the situation might just be different and they might be able to come back into it. But now we have level 20 over for Team Reverse, which of course makes things so much more dangerous. We have the Ultra Capacitors, just to name one. Nearly level 20 for the blue team too. And they're already attempting to channel it down at the bottom of the map, but haven't been able to do that yet. Here comes again the N2 against, well, Sergeant Hammer, actually getting more damage than expected. Also now gusting for Hammer directly. And things are starting to get a bit interesting. Yep, the Hammer's gone. They're taking the Panzer out. Falstad, delivery system, but again, Anduin ruining the play. Hoping to do the same here as Leo gets low, but it is Imperius that falls. Is this the comeback? 20 versus 20. By now we got the light of Stormwind 2, so this is going to be even more interesting as he is playing through it. And down here with Blaze and Diablo being the only one that are still alive, they could fall. Here comes the bubble again. He goes straight up for the bubble, using the cooldown reduction, and that really is helping. If you are able to get the entire thing around, that cooldown reduction is ridiculous, and it just allows you to YOLO that over and over. It's insanity, honestly, that they're able to get to this point. I mean, just look how the game has so far played out. They've been played to the wall, they dropped into the single digits, and now they're starting to grab bell towers here. There's going to be 5 shots that they're firing after Chen channels it through, and that puts the opponent down to 23 points. Still heavily ahead. But now there's all of a sudden potential for you to gain even more momentum, specifically if they're able to grab the fort in the middle, maybe the one at the top. The more momentum they can now build up, the better. But they are still, at least in core points, they're heavily behind. So they got to do a bit more than what they did, but they are definitely on a good path if they want to have a bit of a redemption arc in this particular one. Going for the boss, another nice move. Remove it from the map. Don't give your opponent opportunities to retake it. You might have to sacrifice that bottom bell tower because of it, just so that they are not... Yeah, bottom bell tower gets taken, but they have to remove the boss. It's the 4 shots that you fire against your opponent is obviously nice, but let's not forget one of the main reasons that you're doing this is because you are so low in points already that you simply cannot afford another 4 taken away from you. So they want to remove that as a potential option for the red team to play around. So an interesting game. Pretty wild one, honestly. Team Reverse doing much, much better than a lot of people expected. At the same time, still a chance for Team Beast Titan to beast it up and take them on. 135 stacks for Falstad. Oh, big bubble. Look at this. Big Entomb, and then immediately the top keg play. That reminds me a little bit of Sonya 20 plus Gen. But no aerial crater in this game. Instead, Falstad and Leoric both die. They went for the squishies, they got the kills, and now Leo is dead too. The beginning of the end, this is what it seems like. It's a double altar phase that is coming up next, and good luck trying to deal with it. If both get channeled, the game is over. And even if they channel one and then they're able to move in pumpkins, that would also end the game. So the situation is dire. Very dire for the blue team. They nearly brought the game back. They had some fantastic moments where it seemed like they are able to just get the kills, get control, take bell towers. But now the game is falling apart. A single point on the core is all that's remaining right now. And they've lost the entire team. 5-man team wipe. And with that, it is over. The lead in the best of 5 for Team Reverse. GG. Well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
The winner bracket semifinal continues, and Team Reverse has taken the lead with a big victory on Towers of Doom. Now we're heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen as our second map, and Vala gets instantly banned again. At this point, I feel sorry for my girl. Vala, again, she's... I love Vala. She was my first one-trick. And she is just getting absolutely no appreciation here. It's a sad time. Diablo gets banned, and so does Maiev. But Team Reverse with the lead now in the best of 5 series. And the big question, of course, can Team Beast Titan bring this one back? With Tomb of the Spider Queen being our second map, it's gonna be interesting. I thought there was a moment on Towers of Doom where they really had the comeback in their hands. When they started to take kills and then start to claim some of the bell towers, it really felt like, alright, now they are starting to build up that late game momentum and make some moves, but they were shut down and Team Reverse just proved to be a bit too strong. Which I actually quite like, because the one thing that you don't really want when you're heading into, you know, big best of 5 matches in the semifinals and the winner bracket final, whatever it may be, is these absolute 3-0 stomps. Which, again, is sometimes just happening, that's just how it goes. But it's always nice when you at least have one counter pick. And considering how the first map went, I think we're pretty surely in for a nice best of 5 series here. So, yeah. Still surprises me also sometimes how people complain about early tournament results. I really feel sometimes people don't know how tournament brackets work. So, yeah. Normally, guys, again, there is a certain amount of seeding that goes into it. You don't want the top teams to go up against each other in the first round. You usually want that to happen later on in the tournament. It's actually true for any tournament. It's not only esports related, that's sports related, that's anything. There's usually seeding going into things if there is information available. But some people, they look at first round matches where a top team goes up against an underdog. They're like, oh my god, it's so boring! And I'm like, it's the first round, dude. So, yeah. Some people need to watch more wrestling. That's scripted. Oh, I hope I didn't spoil it for you. But yeah. Genji and Blaze, triple Overwatch. Damn. I mean, they are really embracing the Overwatch train a little bit, if you ask me. More Overwatch, more better. That seems to be the name of the game here. So, triple Overwatch heroes now, with Junkrat, Lucio, and Genji. Hanzo on the other side. Can he make up for it? I don't think so. But we get Sergeant Hammer again. Look at that. Hammer time again. They really like the hammer. Look at the bans, by the way, too. Vala, Tracer, and Sylvanas. I mean, clearly going for the damage dealers. And now we're getting Capybara on Stitches. Alright, baby. Capybara on Stitches. Up against Sergeant Hammer. It's gonna get wild. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Map number 2. Game number 2. Team Reverse. What can they do now? Is it going to be a 1-1 after our second map? Is it going to be the 2-0 lead for the red team? Over on the left side, we now have Stitches and Blaze, so a hook into a jet propulsion potentially. Then Junkrat, Genji, and Lucio, our Overwatch triple that comes into play for them now. As over on the right side, it is time for the red team to try and extend their lead. Johanna, fantastic tank for Tomb of the Spider Queen. We have Hogger together with her. And then again, Sergeant Hammer. Already saw her on map number 1. Plus Hanzo and Rhaegar for the red team. So, good stuff. How does the blue team react? Pressure's on them right now. They are the ones that have to make the moves. I mean, right now, they're clearly the team that has to make the plays in order to bring this back. That's just what it is. I personally had them... I favored them a little bit. I thought it would be a close one, but I thought that the blue team would essentially look a little bit better. At least so far, that hasn't really been the case. They had some great moments in game number 1, but Team Reverse just played it better and now has the opportunity to extend this further. So we'll see if they can, but it should be a pretty interesting game between the two. And for the blue team, it just means pressure. You don't want to fall behind by an 0-2. Reverse sweeps are always possible, but very difficult to execute and to play out. So I don't think we're necessarily going to get that. Hogger dies, so first blood already for Team Beast Titan. they're off to a good start. They're getting first blood, that's always kind of nice and neat. And they're hoping for more. They're trying to go for Hebin here, who is very low. Johanna nearly dying, but they were not able to get that second kill. We're working hard to try and get it on the other hand. But yeah, not quite playing out that way. Could have happened though. Yeah, they got close there. 100%. So, with all of this now being played out, we're getting the camps. So mercenary camps are slowly being claimed and taken. Rain is taking it over on the right side with Hogger. Spray game is also on point. It's kind of funny when you're like all alone on the map and there's nobody around, there's no opponent, and you're still going and drop some sprays. At that point, you really just have to believe that the caster is currently checking out whatever you're doing, or it's just completely insane. So yeah, it's much more fun to just spray in front of an opponent and kind of tag them a little bit. So yeah. But then again, either way, we have down at the bottom of the map. The big fight over the Siege Giant camp doesn't really happen all that often that it's that big of a battle. Rain gets attacked and he goes down. Hogger is dropped. They're trying for the next kill and they get it against Hanzo. Look at this. Lucio is the one that gets those kills. Seems like going for the mass Overwatch strategy is working out for them. With 3 heroes destroyed, that is a ton of gems down the drain too. Essentially, there's a 25 gem lead currently for Team Beast Titan. So they not only killed those heroes, pulled ahead by 4 kills to 0, but they were also able to grab the Siege Giants, get damage in against the structures, and remove gems. This is a crazy good start into Tomb of the Spider Queen. Absolutely fantastic. That's great. 3 minutes in, Team Beast Titan, more than a level ahead, doing a fantastic job in this. If they can now turn in their gems and get the first Web Weaver wave, this could snowball quickly. Especially if they're getting another kill now, and it certainly looks like they will. Rain is in trouble, and Rain is dead. So they're picking up kill after kill, getting closer to a turn-in. They have the gems if they want to drop them. The talent advantage is helping them, of course, too. So they are coming out swinging on this one. I mean, damn, Team Beast Titan, a bit angry as it seems after what happened in game number 1. Don't really blame them. Hanzo, well, first of all, Junkrat. Junkrat could actually turn in over here. And does. So they're delivering the 20 gems. Yep, they're delivering everything that they have. And so far, nobody is interrupting them. At the bottom, there's still some skirmishes happening and some poke. But they are looking quite strong here. Level 7 talent kicked in. They have also with another Gambit, the second helping for Stitches. 5 kills to 0 as already mentioned. And they're 6 gems short of Web Weaver wave number 1. That shouldn't be a problem. Bear is already turning in, and that is Web Weavers. Blue team with the first objective in this game. Now they don't have a talent advantage any longer that they can play around. I personally doubt that they're going to be able to make any kind of moves into, let's say, level 10 with that push. It's a 1.5 level gap. I don't think they can bridge it this quickly. But they should still be able to do fairly okay here. Stitch is obviously hoping to isolate someone. We haven't even seen a single Gorge yet. We're not at level 10 abilities yet, but that could also then be kind of interesting. Once that we have the jet propulsion follow up, once that we have Junkrat playing this out. So yeah, 5 kills to 0. Top side gets pressure a little bit. We're still early in the game, 5 minutes in. The hook helping hand over here. I'm not quite sure if that was even needed, so I'm not quite sure if Kamibara is trolling around here, or if that was actually supposed to give them some value. What definitely gives them value is that Hanzo kill. So Hanzo is trying to jump the fort again and gets murdered in the process. Hanzo gone, they're trying to make a play for the next one, and yeah, the two Korean teams are really at each other's throat right now. So now we have Hanzo, careful. Rega jumped in. Yep, Jojo off on the left. They get Rega, he's gone. Kill number 7. Jojo is low, they're going for her. 27 gems in her hands, and Genji is just crushing them. Sergeant Hammer gets hooked and gorged. Hogger is down. Gems are lost all over the place. Now they're losing Hammer. It's an utter disaster. Sky with 30 gems, if they can get him 2, and they can with level 10. The entire team has been wiped. 5-man team wipe. Not a single gem in the hands of Team Reverse, and they haven't even turned a 1 in. So now we have nearly another turn in for Team Beast Titan. They're mega close to having enough gems. Now they do. Now they can get the next turn in, and it's an utter disaster. Rocket Ride again for Junkrat in this case. They can even combo that off with Stitches, Gorge, and they're really looking for these sniper combos. But that whole choke point battle that we've just seen a second ago worked insanely in their favor. They haven't taken a 4 down yet, but they're just pulling out of the opponent. A 2-level gap, 11 kills to 0, and they're absolutely crushing it here. Siege Giants are being claimed. They're looking amazing on that end. So, fantastic performance. And some of the plays are just ridiculous. Lucio earlier coming in with kill after kill. Stitches with some crazy hook and moves too. And Genji as a finisher has been doing a fantastic job as well. So, yep, they are looking really, really good here. That's a crazy one. Blue Web Weavers are now going to descend, so they're going for turn-in number 2. No problem over here. Now the move for Rain, and Hogger is dead. Hogger gets eliminated once again. He's gone. Bye-bye, my friend. And of course, the timing is absolutely stellar. With Hogger already gone, that means you are now in a great spot. I mean, essentially, when you're looking at this, you have Hogger missing for defense. The fort at the bottom is already gone before he even respawns. Now the Web Weaver in the middle is likely going to destroy the second fort. Blaze is still pushing. At the top, they have a chance to go for it too. Both teams have level 10 abilities. But if the red team, if Team Reverse does not soon start picking off a few heroes and get some kills, then they're going to be in for a rude awakening, because they're being played to the wall right now. Lost the gems, which is their ticket back into the game, and the blue team is just taking full advantage of that situation. Web Weavers and Siege Giants now at the bottom of the map that they're using to push through all of this. So more and more big plays being made by them, and yeah, things are just looking fantastic. I mean, really, really damn good. Right now, 12 kills to 0, level 13 talents. What more do you want? Look at that hook! Look at that hook! Sergeant Hammer. Well, more Sergeant Helpless. Nothing that she can do. Gets hooked, gets hit, and goes down. So, great job by them. It's really impressive. It's quite something. So, Team Beast Titan with a great performance. And now 9 minutes into the game. They are going for the topside fort, hoping to take that out too. They lost the first map, but on map 2, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, they are absolutely unleashing it. I mean, they are really just sending the pain train straight into the heart of Team Reverse. Another hook, another gorge. Rhaegar, the arrow gets dodged. They expected it once that they got the hook through and dodged it easily, and Rhaegar is just gone. Capybara again, with a Seeker missile, as it seemed, right at the end of that hook. Comes in, gets 1. Now they go for Hanzo, and guess what? He's dead as well. 15 kills to 0. Level 15 to 12. Rain is on the run. They're not turning anything in. Guys, we're 10 minutes in. They haven't turned in a single gem. Not one. Not a single gem has been turned in by Team Reverse. And they have also... I mean, again, they only have 14. The blue team already had 2 turn-ins, and they have another 58 gems. And the red team has 14 gems in total, now 16, and hasn't turned a single one in. It's crazy. They just got level 13 talents, and guess what? Team Beast Titan is already ahead by an entire talent, because they're looking at level 16. 27,000 damage for Genji. You look at the damage numbers and they're not even all that impressive. We have Hogger, for example, on 24,000. He's nearly on the same numbers that Genji brings in. But one team is looking at 16 kills and the other one has not even gotten 1 yet. So, yeah, it's bananas. Here comes the boss that they're now taking. turn-in could now happen too. So there's an opportunity to get that going. And they're going to grab it. Could have maybe timed this a little bit better. Pick the boss up with different timing. They're not even pushing with it. Instead, they're going for the camp over here and just claim the mercenary camp. But some of the numbers here are absolutely out of this world now. So Team Beast Titan in Game 2, they're really showing up. They're absolutely showing up. Now, can Reverse change things? Maybe asking for that in game number 2 is going to be a little bit too much, but let's not forget they won the first map. So right here, there's going to be a big and dangerous push that could very well end up with the team pulling even further ahead. They're certainly trying. Shockwave comes out. Hogger might still be in trouble. Hanzo with an arrow. Rega with the Ancestral. And it comes in too late. Hogger is gone. The Fleabag has been dropped and destroyed. And now they're pushing for the mid-keep. And Junkrat is down at the bottom of the map. There's web weavers all around in every single lane. Junkrat is still damaging the bot lane keep. And they're here in the middle, sieging up on it. Still no level 16 talents for the opponent, but all of this is going to hurt. And now again the Ancestral coming in too late to save Johanna. They're zoning them with the, I was about to say Riptire, but with the Rocket Ride. And they're going to get this keep for sure. The one at the bottom of the map, by the way, has already fallen to the web weavers. Top side, there's a catapult still doing damage. The second keep falls, so now 2 are gone. Whoa, it is a rough game for Reverse. Reverse is getting slapped around right now. I mean, honestly, if you ask me, I'm looking at this and Team Beast Titan is just going through Team Reverse like hot butter through cheese. They are melting them away, one hero at a time, 19 kills to 0. It is absolutely bonkers. So one hot butter through cheese play after the next. Another arrow comes in. Maybe now finally a kill. It doesn't seem likely. Hogger is down. 20 kills to 0. The core is losing its shield. 21 kills. Nobody dying over here. It's just nasty. Perfect game. It's a perfect game. A perfect map for Team Beast Titan as they put a point onto the scoreboard here. And that is the end of Tomb of the Spider Queen. Team Beast Titan with a perfect performance. Nicely done. GG. Well played. Infernal Shrines, map number 3 between the two teams. And Team Beast Titan, they went ham on the last one. I mean, they came in and absolutely dropped the other team. So, very, very different match that we just saw. Not quite sure if it was just the draft that didn't work out for Team Reverse, if Team Beast Titan woke up, but we'll slowly start to figure that out. I guess just picking more Overwatch, you know, solves the problem. More Overwatch, more win. At least it worked in game number 2. Now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines, one question that of course immediately comes to mind is, again, will Sergeant Hammer A be played or B be banned? Now, Diablo as a first pick, again, for Infernal Shrines it makes a whole lot of sense. Or even for other maps we already saw Diablo prioritized, but now that we're heading into Infernal, you have a lot of stun potential whenever you're starting to move in there. So now the question, how is the blue team going to try and build on that momentum that they were just able to build up in Tomb of Spider Queen? Now starting into the draft with the first double pick, we're getting Blaze and Lucio. Blaze obviously amazing on essentially any map, but on Infernal Shrines you have even more presence on the shrines on the objective. Hide with Lucio already had a lot of fun and a lot of success, so I don't really blame him for that particular pick either. Yeah, but it's now kind of reversed. The red team finds themselves in a situation where they have to be the ones that break out of that little rut that they were in. There's Sergeant Hammer. They pick... You can see that the priority for Sergeant Hammer now changed because they realize, guys, we already picked her twice. So even if the opponent is not necessarily mega afraid of this pick, they realize we want it. So they might ban it out on the 3rd position. So what happens instead is that they pick Sergeant Hammer before the triple... the third ban phase comes in. Well, the 3rd ban, the 2nd ban phase. There's always some sticklers out there with a notepad. It's like, but Khaldor, actually, it's not ban phase 3. It's the 3rd ban, but the 2nd ban phase. So yeah, for all those, there's the correction. I see you. But yeah, Sylvanas gets banned instead. They want hammer, they got hammer. And now we're heading into our next ban. And it is Jojo, which makes a lot of sense. Joanna, great tank for this map too. And off we go. Next quick double pick here. I mean, they know what they're up against right now. So they have to pick something that they can deal with Sergeant Hammer. Chromie, by the way, is up. If you have a Chromie player here, that would be a counter pick or something that we definitely see in the Western scene. But they go for Tychus and they go for Genji. So they fight StarCraft with StarCraft, as it seems. Yeah. Tychus against Sergeant Hammer. And then we get Tracer and Deckard Kane. Okay, so Diablo with Deckard. We also have him just rushing around and dropping a couple of potions there. And then over on the left we get Capybara, our main tank. Is he going to throw a bit of a curveball? We had him on Chen, we had him on Stitches. So yeah, he's playing in the Haka main tank too. He played that in the round of 8 match in the winners bracket. So what are we now getting on our 3rd map in this best of 5? It's Mirrodin, just totally vanilla. Mirrodin for Infernal Shrines against Team Reverse, and we're heading into game number 3. The series is tied, 1-1 as we head into the 3rd map of the best of 5. Over on the left, Team Beast Titan, with a fairly vanilla pick for Capybara towards the end. So we have Mirrodin and Blaze at the front line. We get Tychus and Genji for damage, Tychus obviously for Odin, and then on top of that we get Lucio for Hyde. As over on the right side, Team Reverse now has to prove that game number 1 wasn't a fluke and that they can definitely bring the fight to the blue team. So we get Diablo, we have a Sergeant Hammer and Tracer for damage, Hog on the side lane, and Deckard Kane for them big heals over here. So let's see, what can the team do? What are they actually able to pull off on this one? I mean, right now, first and foremost, obviously, we're going to see a little bit of early game jumping around here and slowly starting to make a couple of plays. I mean, it's nothing too insane, honestly. Here in the middle, they're not going for full-on 5 versus 5. They've already started to split some heroes off to the top and the bot lane. So, not just going for that full commitment right there. But, yeah, time will tell. So far, nothing too crazy. With that, we have down at the bottom of the map Mirrodin just slowly making a play or two as well, but Sergeant Hammer is just sitting tight. There's not really a whole lot happening until Sergeant Hammer hits level 7. They're not going to go for any crazy plays. Tracer might be dipping in and out every now and then. Might even get killed here. And does. And Genji survives. But yes, the whole idea is, of course, to get Sergeant Hammer to level 7 first, and in the meantime, only Tracer can essentially attempt to make some plays. But if they just want to sit tight, they can do that too. Tracer being lost in that situation is, of course, a bit annoying. That means now you're playing a 5 versus 4 for a bit, so you lost at least some ground on the map, and have to be cautious with this. So, we'll see. Down at the bottom of the map, the party here still continuing as they're starting to make maybe another play for Diablo and therefore the second kill. Dibble's still a bit low, doesn't have a lot of souls, 13 to be exact, and that's essentially nothing. And Genji says, thank you very much, jumps in, gets the kill, and that is a dead Diablo. So, well, seems like the blue team has really found us right here, doesn't it? Blue team has started to be mega aggressive. They started to go for kills and they are looking great. Game number 1 was a problem, but right now they're doing better and better and better and are all of a sudden in a position where they can really start to bring the pain, and this is what they're currently doing. So now we're seeing them just easily move into the next camp. They can claim one after another here, which is what they're doing. So they are starting to gain a bit more map control as all of this continues. Take the camp, put them on lane, push for some of the structures. Like, nothing insane. They're not dropping a fort or anything here, but they're going to damage a couple of like towers. And the whole goal is also to pull ahead in experience slowly and steadily. With 2 kills, you get a bit of an advantage that helps you then to get an early level 7 for the shrine fight. which is essentially the main idea. Make sure that you get ahead by 1 talent on the Shrine battle, and that allows you then to win the first Punisher, so you start to build up all of that momentum slowly and steadily. It's kind of what they're gonna try and do here. But, yep, that's what's basically happening. So now the next little attack is already ongoing. And, yeah, let's see. We have the Shrine up. Red team has obviously realized that this is just simply not happening, so they're not even trying to fight for it. They just said, we're gonna let that go, and instead they're just pushing for structures. Now there's 2 points that come to this. The first one is that with the first objective you can still go for that counter pressure. That's definitely a possibility. But what's also important to note is that they realize they're just not gonna get to a point where they can actually fight for the Shrine, since they don't have the mobility on Sergeant Hammer. And on top of that, they are already just trailing behind a bit. So, gotta be careful on this. Now, on top of all of what we just talked about, we have still the Punisher now coming in. And this is where things are gonna get a bit interesting. Blue team doesn't... Oh, jump triggered in front of the wall. Amateur hour in game 3. That shouldn't happen. That's a huge mistake. That should really not happen. But now they're breaking through the wall very easily. Absolutely no problem here, and that is just a bit disastrous if you ask me. So, is it going to drop them the fort? No, it doesn't, but this is definitely one of the things that just shouldn't happen. Yeah, you should always be able to properly bait it over the wall. It will make sure that the defense is easier, but in this case, they lost too much. Now, again, still plenty of time to bring this back. We still have at the top now Blaze being pushed down a bit by Hogger. Down at the bottom right, next play is being made as Decade is already trying to lock him down here. But it is Diablo who's low. Tracer diving in, making a play for Lucio too, which didn't really work out. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so Genji is already moving back. Half a level lead. Again, those 2 kills added up to a half level lead. The first objective didn't do a whole lot for them either. Now we have a few attacks coming in at Sergeant Hammer after we just had her being dropped a bit low here and eating that Stormbolt. But with all of that said and done, Habibara now moving in once again. Okay, they're really pressuring on this. They're sieging up on that camp and they want to be aggressive here, and they certainly are. They're zoning the opponent out as best as they can, and it starts to get a little bit tricky for them, as you can tell. So, not really an easy one. Mana is to be gotten. At least Hogger is getting value at the top. So, Hogger is currently making his play here and is trying to see if he can do a bit more on all of this. We're having also in the middle, yeah, Rain, Meteor, they're all sitting tight here. But it's a bit of a weird one at this point. With level 10 finally kicking in for both, things are going to get more interesting. Haymaker, by the way, instead of Avatar for Mirrodin. And that could actually work now against Sergeant Hammer. Maybe even against more. Mirrodin is getting ready for it. Haymaker already used. They get Hammer killed. Genji low gets out. Tracer doesn't. It's a double kill. 4 kills to 0. This is where Team Beast Titan is starting to take the lead again. So, yep, they are making more and more plays. Now we have down at the bottom of the map another pressure play by the blue team as they are making another move here. Yeah, and it gets interesting. Very interesting for sure. So, as this all plays out, how much more can they actually do? There's a little Nado that comes out. It's a 1 level advantage, but this is where the Shrine is spawning. So now with the Shrine spawning all the way up at the top, this is where the next play is going to be made. Hogger is already prepping for the camp, but it starts to look a bit dicey for the red team. They did a great job in game number 1. Game number 2, blue team got very angry, woke up, whatever it was, they absolutely slapped them around. And now what we're getting instead is in game number 3, the blue team with another attempt to really just take the reins, not only in this particular game, but the entire series. And the red team is doing everything that they can in order to prevent it. And they are going with everything they have for that kill against Blaze. Look at this. Blaze finally gets killed. They even dropped that ragdoll to the other side of the map. But they had to work hard for it too. With Sergeant Hammer The siege at the bottom of the map is now happening. So yes, they're sieging up here. Top side, 19 stacks for Tigers. Hoga is trying to take over a bit, but Capybara is also in trouble down here. Is able to jump out though. What? They're not even getting a single kill? I was just waiting the entire time for someone like Diablo to move in and get a lock, but couldn't. Now maybe a chance, and even here it's not possible. So while Hoga is taking control over the top shrine and might get them the Punisher, down here Tracer is desperately attempting to escape. She gets killed, cut off all the paths of retreat. Top Hoga is a little bit ahead now with 26 to 19 stacks. So it's a bit closer than expected, but with Tracer dying, the blue team should just be able to move in here and take this out. So, yeah. Habin, this time the wall stun is ready, but they don't have the damage follow-up on it. Lulnado for Deckard Cain. Now they're sitting at the top here. And it seems like the blue team is going to get the Frozen Punisher. Also because they have the level 13 talent advantage. Not a big window or anything here around the shrine, but it's definitely nice enough for them to pull ahead and likely take Punisher number 2. So, 2, 3? There should be 3, right? Yeah, that's Punisher. So, level 13 is ready if they go. But I'm a little bit surprised that... Oh my god, why is the red team still fighting it like this? Tracer goes down, she's eliminated, and now they are starting to go in for the follow-up kills, and of course the Punisher is already attacking the fort itself. That shockwave hit absolutely nothing. Here comes the barbecue in the choke point! Oh! Couldn't get the kill here. It's such a wild one. The blue team is not getting kills though. It's a bit strange because they're also not going for the top. They need kills here at least. They're finally coming in for a kill, but I'm not so sure how successful all of this was because with them chasing the opponent, they did nothing up here. They won the objective and basically what they got is 2 hero kills. That's all. 2 hero kills and the game. That's all that they got. They chased them the entire cross map and they only killed 1 hero on the chase and 1 just shortly before. So everything else just didn't do anything. It's kind of crazy. Hindsight being 2020, I think that chase was not worth it whatsoever. They should have just gone for the top side fort and take it out. Now they're still ahead with kills, they are still ahead with levels, but yeah, it's fairly surprising to me. So here comes the attack again as they're going for it, starting to go for Diablo. Now they're pushing it past, you know, they're nearly on level 16. So Sergeant Hammer goes down with level 16. They have also a big talent advantage. This is really going to help them. Muradin in this case, because of Haymaker as level 10 talent, also went into stone form. So it's helping him, of course, too. But with the fort destroyed, they're now moving into the middle. They're going to take another one here. And this is where slowly the structures are being taken out. So one structure after another is being dropped. And they're playing on that. Muradin is moving in and is starting to take things out at the top right with his team. They're trying for the mercenary camp. I would be surprised if the red team would really go for it. They're most likely just posturing a little bit. We're hoping that the team would retreat, that they're not willing to fully commit to it. But with level 16 talents, again, the advantage is so big. Why wouldn't you? The damage output on 36,000 for Tigers, way ahead of Sergeant Hammer, for example. So as far as the StarCraft universe is concerned, seems like he's going to be the one to have the big lead here. Yeah, Bear is now making his attack. And over on the top right side, this is where the next few shots are being fired. So down goes the camp, wasting a little bit of their time. And at the bottom of the map, they still have Hogger play that out. Yeah, not too bad. Level 16 is now ready. So at least they can fight on even talents. Oh, Haymaker! Value, baby! The Playmaker value. Alright, so he got something out of it. 9 kills to 1, all in all now. The only one that died for the blue team is Blaze. He has to buy the next few rounds of beers once that they're meeting up again. Tracer is trying to make it a second kill, this time against Muradin, but that didn't work for her. So now that the objective is arriving on the map, it's another 20 seconds until we have Hogger back to business. Sergeant Hammer with level 16 has also Giant Killer, that of course helps. It's always a nice little note once that you get that extra damage in. But, yep, we're gonna be in for a fun one here. Capybara moving better. A Stormbolt hits Tracer. Nice. No follow-up yet, but some damage. And now Genji is moving in from the side, and Tracer is in trouble. Yeah, she gets some heals, some potions, but still, Rain has to move back out there. Genji just wasting a bit of their time, zipping in, out, delivering some damage, poking. They're not too far ahead on the objective yet. We are just looking at level 18 versus 16 and 6 stacks to 2. But this is where Odin easily gets popped. No hesitation on it. Quick Odin. And now the chance to maybe make another play here. They're already pushing them back off that shrine. Mirrodin gets bullied around a bit by Diablo, but essentially the blue team is already pushing in and their opponents are retreating. Sergeant Hammer goes down. Genji, Lucio, 2 of them die. At least now there's some damage coming in from reverse. Diablo with a nice play in barbecue. Tracer then coming in for the final few hits. So they have all of a sudden a numbers advantage and maybe a chance here. 10 kills to 3. They go for Blaze and he is dead too. Team Reverse showing some signs of life now. Good for them. Coming in, dropping some of the blue team, closing that experience gap. Breaking it down to less than a level. Yeah. That is kind of the play that we wanted to see now. So they had problems in this game. A lot of them. But now with that one team fight victory and them claiming an objective, I mean they're 39 stacks so they can take them whenever. They will be in a situation where they can now all of a sudden bring it back. So game number 3, still absolutely up in the air who's going to win it. Early game clearly went to Team Beastide, in the mid game too, but now that we're heading into the late game, it's a different story. And picking up kills like this one against Tychus, staggered deaths on the side of the blue team, is going to make things even more dangerous. Oh, Capybara dodging everything, nearly everything. Gets still attacked, does not have the fountain cooldown, waits for his trade to kick in. He should be fine here. He has that self-heal, but boy did they want his ass. So, yeah, Capybara nearly falling, nearly dying, but Merlin makes it through the battle. Drops another Stormbolt on Diablo, but you can see that in experience, they are just so mega close now. Camps targeted now. I mean, teams were, of course, also trying to go for level 20. It's one of the reasons why Hogga is not claiming the objective yet. They want to make it 220 or at least a bit closer. They also want to avoid that Team Beast Titan is going to have a big advantage on defense. So now that they're just half a level away from it, they are willing to pick it. So push through the middle, and that will actually decide quite a bit. This is the comeback potentially though. This is the moment where they can really start to come back. They lost 2 forts, they only took 1 out. Now the bait over the wall. They still have to go for this. I'm a little bit... Okay, they're still level 20 now on both sides. And we get the ultra capacitors, but the Punisher is already down to 50%, so it already took way more damage than it should have at the beginning of that push. Nice jump. They go for Blaze, and they wanted to follow up on the Punisher engage. But there's the barbecue once again. Mirrodin. Mirrodin without Avatar is always so wild to me. The survivability of him drops so quickly, it's crazy. But he was able to jump away. Blaze wasn't, so Blaze is gone. And here's the push. The wall at the keep is opened up. Mirrodin is sitting at the top. And they are not stopping. They have a 5 versus 4. They have a camp. And they're going for the keep. And it's going to fall. Team Beast Titan. They tied the series up on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and now they're starting to fall behind on the 3rd map. They are already behind in experience. In kills, they are still ahead. In structures, though, they are behind. It's a wild twist. Honestly, heading into game number 3, it felt a little bit like Team Beast Titan just simply woke up on the 2nd map and is now going to dominate the series, but apparently far from it. I still am not 100% certain who is going to win the game itself, but this is down to the wire again. So, game number 3, this series in general, could be taken, could be won by anybody. Murder is jumping out. Genji, it's a little bit of assistance there. They're always trying to look for an angle with Diablo to just get another wall stun going.
The red team is still aggressively invading here. Still looking to force mistakes on the other side. And of course, there's also a fort down at the bottom of the map. I actually expected... Okay, maybe now? I expected them to rotate down and claim that fort at some point. So far, they haven't done that yet. But maybe now, yeah. So they're moving in. They want this one. I don't blame them. So yeah, this is exactly what they should do. They come in quickly, take the fort down, and that is all the forts gone. One keep gone, and a pretty sweet spot for them. So, on top of that, team fight once again. Capybara in problems, and he's dead. But so is Sergeant Hammer. Nice, good kill. Good kill by Tracer, by Blaze. Tychus is dead too, so a lot of the damage dealers are now biting the dust on both teams. I have to say though that Genji gone, I still blame the Haymaker pick to an extent. I've been ranting about this pick for a while now, and again, I am not saying that you cannot win with Haymaker, I'm just simply saying you're winning a game despite Haymaker, not because you picked Haymaker. I haven't really seen throughout an entire game play after play being made where Haymaker is the deciding factor. I've seen a couple of kills that resulted in an opening with Haymaker, but generally speaking, it just seems that Avatar is always the better choice here. Haymaker can be a lot of fun, but, well, in the tournament, you want to limit the funning around element a bit. 11 kills, 210. The blue team was massively ahead in the early game, and now it's a play for Core by Team Reverse as they are looking to take the lead in this best-of-5 series. Nicely done. There's little else to say. Fantastic performance by Team Reverse, and they walk away with a 2-1 lead in the best-of-5. Well-deserved. Well-deserved victory.
Map number 4. We're actually going to Volskaya Foundry. I wasn't even aware that map is in the map pool, but yep, it is Volskaya time, and apparently Team Beast Titan is finally fed up with Sergeant Hammer. Now, I want to quickly remind everybody again, after Team Reverse picked Sergeant Hammer twice in game number 1 and game number 2, they shifted the priority of the hero and picked Sergeant Hammer in the first pick rotation before the third ban, because they were already aware that it was fairly obvious that they wanted to get that hero. So they kind of outdrafted Team Beast Titan in that sense a bit, and at this point the blue team just had enough. They just said, you know what, we don't care any longer, we're just going to ban Hammer out right away, and we're not going to give you a chance. Capybara with Diablo as a first pick, and when it comes to bans, there's clearly them targeting now specific players or just roles. So Sergeant Hammer, Tracer gets banned, we have also Vala and Genji taken out. So this is where things are getting a bit more interesting. And for Team Beast Titan, of course, the air is getting a lot thinner up here. This is match point number 1 for the red team. They pick up Urel and Johanna when it comes on to shrine fights on Volskaya. That's going to be pretty important here. So let's see what's going to happen with those control points. Haven't seen the map in a long time, for good reason. So basically, in every single tournament that I'm personally running, the map is not in the pool. Most players also don't really want to play it. So usually players get a say in which maps get taken out, which maps are being played. And there are a couple of exceptions on the Western scene that really enjoy Volskaya Foundry, but most of them don't. One player, the single player that I can highlight right now that loves to play on Volskaya Foundry is Ultralisk. Also because he has a pretty good track record when it comes to performance on Volskaya Foundry, but it's not included in most tournament pools these days. So Lucio and Hogger are picked up, and Sylvanas is banned out as well. It's actually a shame because Volskaya could definitely be fixed very easily. There's a couple of iterations of what you can do to make the map better, but the first iteration that you should really go for is just to randomize the spawn a little bit and not make it so scripted. Now these days, after the change with fountains, now they can't be destroyed directly, you have to destroy the fort. Things have a bit changed on the map, but the objective oftentimes still does nothing for you. So if there's anybody on the other team that is decent at taking down one of the protectors, it's just completely irrelevant until the very late game. And even then it's sometimes a bit of a stretch. But we get Tychus for damage here in Volskaya, and then for our
last pick for now in the double pick rotation. We get Rhaegar for the support. So Yrel, Johanna, Tychus, and Rhaegar, and then they can follow up with another damage dealer towards the end of the draft there. But alright, so can Team Beast Titan force Game 5? Or is Team Reverse really going to drop them with a 3-1 victory here? Again, this is the winner bracket semifinal. The loser drops into the loser's bracket. Duh. So, not all is lost if you lose here, but still. Get a triple front line with Maiev being added, and we have Cassia. The stage is pretty much set. Game number 4. It's the big opportunity for Team Reverse. This is the chance that they have to come in, drop the opponent with a 3-1, and move on to the winner bracket final. Team Beast Titan is going to have very different plans. They try to reflect that in the draft by banning out a lot of the heroes that they had problems with. But now the final choice after Tiger has been picked. What's the second damage dealer for the red team? It is Imperius. So Imperius, that triple front line. We've seen how much damage Imperius can do. Tigers will still be their main damage dealer, or should be at the end of the game. But with that, stage is set. World Sky Foundry, everybody. Game number 4. Game number 4. It is match point. So a 2-1 lead for Team Reverse against Team Beast Titan, and the opportunity to end the series. On the left, we have Cassia with stacks, went into her Thunderstroke, so Lightning Fury talent. We have Lucio for the heals, and then Hogger, Diable, and Maiev at the front line. Whereas over on the right side of the map, Team Reverse in red, this time, the first time actually in this best of 5, without Sergeant Hammer, but we have them with a triple front line too. We have Johanna, we have Imperius, and Yrel. That leaves us with Rhaegar for the support, and then we get Tychus as the damage dealer for the team. So, can they pull that off? It would be pretty impressive, I gotta say. I would not be surprised if we are going the distance in this series and move to map number 5. I would absolutely not be surprised. But the attacks, they keep coming. We're now having Imperius already up at the top. Hogger is down at the bottom of the map, so a quick 4 versus 4 battle in the middle, where they're also trying to deny Cassia stacks. If you can slow her down, obviously, by not giving her fight opportunities, then fantastic. Good escape too. Imperius there, nearly getting killed, nearly ending up his first blood, but he is able to move out, so good for him. They're trying to still get some damage done, and Cassia is of course now always looking for some hits that she can connect. We just saw that in action as she was playing around the 3-4 man rotation with the 1 minute mark kicking in. They're all trying to go for camps and therefore also items, so the thought process here is grab a few of the items, get them quickly, and, well, then see if you can maybe even invade the opponent's item and take that one too. Right now, that hasn't really played a role yet, but, I mean, we'll see. We can do a little bit more here. Already Capybara on the way towards the top, so he's already starting to move in. Essentially just all looking for opportunities. There's always a chance that somebody is going for the camp in the middle and tries to lock that in to give his team a lead and an advantage for the healing thingy, but so far nobody has really made a move there. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but at least thus far nobody has actually gone for it. So now in the meantime, while we're still waiting for the first kill and also for the first objective, they're just dancing around in the middle at the top, looking for flanks, looking for isolated picks. I mean, similar to this, Lucio is of course speeding them up pretty quickly too. So he's trying to put them into a position where they can get that flank successfully on anyone. And Hai, talking about flanks, might run into Jojo here, who's coming in with a quick iron skin from the side and condemn. But it is again Imperius that is getting bullied around. Apparently they don't like his outfit. Yeah, I don't like that skin either, but they really don't like it. So Imperius goes down, and that is first blood. The blue team, once again, getting aggressive and trying to do some work, which they are effectively now doing. So, yeah, they're starting to pull this off. At the top lane, we have, in the meantime, of course, also a few more moves being made, as you can tell. Looking now at also the first progress is happening here in the middle. as the checkpoint gets taken. 7 stacks only for Cassia. Not a whole lot. Exactly what we've been highlighting earlier. Cassia is running into a situation where things are getting difficult because she is not able to get proper stacks. The fights are denied to her. The red team has absolutely no interest in giving her too many opportunities to stack properly. So it is a bit of a tough time. She's not going to be able to build up her damage as quickly as she would love to. Now, with 1 kill to 0, the play in the middle here is still being made. We have, with level 7 talents, the Ruthless Spirit. And we're getting the good vibrations. Let's see how many good vibrations Lucio is still going to experience here. Master Assassin again for Tychus, for the passive, for Odin. And they are getting dangerously close to the first Protector. I mean, this one is basically given up. So, Protector time for the blue team. Team Beast Titan has the first one. Team Reverse wasn't really too impressed with it. They're like, yeah, well, don't really care too much. But how much damage can they actually do with this thing? 4 heroes are starting to defend. Even Uranus coming in. They're dropping it low fairly quickly. But can they follow up and drop it before it does serious damage to the structures and opens those wall up? Maiev is also starting to engage. So Maiev is now coming in, trying to drop them too. Just tether things up a little bit. Was hoping to crush them here, but not yet. Alright. A little bit more action. Anything else that they can currently do? Honestly, it doesn't really seem like it. They just open the wall up in the middle, and that's about it. The first objective, again, one of the problems that the map in general has is that the objective is traditionally not all that strong, but the first one in particular is just suffering from the fact that it hasn't scaled really. Back in the days, we'd always try and make a rotation towards the lane where the next objective spawns and then take the fountain out to at least give you a sustain advantage. Now you can't do that anymore because the hit points of the fountains are tied to the fort, which was a really nice change in general, but it always so heavily impacted the way that specifically this map gets played. So yeah, had a huge impact there. Now, with level 10 on board, they're picking up all the traditional talents, no surprises here. Maybe we're gonna get a few shocking things over on the other side, but don't necessarily expect that either. So right now, oof, the Pleb Lizard from Tychus. Definitely not a good one. Yeah. Probably the ugliest mount in the entire pool, if you ask me. Definitely not a highlight. But okay. They're dancing around the healing beacon camp at the top once again. 16 stacks per now for Cassia. Still not crazy, but at least she's able to capitalize on some of the fights that they're having here. Ults, as I said, not a surprise. And I guess we're gonna wait for the next objective to pop in. It's still kind of strange to me that the map was even played. Well, first of all, that it was added to the map pool, and second of all, that it was picked. These days, it really seems that at least in the Western Sea, most players agree that it's not the best map, and they usually prefer to play something else. But I'm actually kind of interested to see how many times it will be taken over the course of the tournament. If that is something very specific to the teams here, or if we're going to get it picked up a bit more often as this continues. So yeah, a lot of that is just... A lot of that will be revealed once that we have more games and that we are driving deeper into the tournament and into the rounds in the winner bracket in particular. But at least for now, this has been the first time that we've now seen this one. So, with the 7-minute mark, we're slowly getting to level 13. Still only a single kill in this game. Not really a whole lot when you think about it. They're still battling in the middle and hoping to catch another kill. Items are a big factor too. We got 3 turrets right now for the red team. That's already a pretty sweet one, but 2 healing beacons on the other side, and that's a lot of sustain that you can get, even in fights where you do not have a fountain. Now that's not a problem for either one of these teams since they haven't lost forts yet, but it could become a problem later on. So healing beacons are always kind of neat. It's even better when you're fighting somewhere where you don't have a fountain anymore, but even if it's just about holding the position on the beacon itself, the checkpoint, whatever you want to call it, it's already a big asset to have. So 13 is ready. There's the stun from Imperius. They're trying to follow up on that and just couldn't, barely. The damage output is on 10,000 for Urel. It's actually kind of funny because Urel and Jojo are the 2 top damage dealers now for the red team. not really the heroes that you would immediately associate with top dog damage. So yeah, 10k, 10.7k for both Urel and for Johanna, which is weird. Maiev with 15,000 on the other side, and Cassia with 13, and Hogga with 12,000. But yeah, it is pretty amusing. Particularly that Urel is the top damage here. But here comes the next attack with Imperius. Nice. Also Odin, this time in full force. Gets the shots out. Plays on the abilities, trying to also use the fort again so that nobody can jump on Odin and take Tychus down. But as the damage numbers are slowly coming in, they're still pushing them back. Diablo gets skewered. But he's still totally fine. I mean, he's fully stacked, so he is a hit point monster. Urel is jumping away, and there's still nobody dying. Cassia is getting a bit closer. Now Hogga is coming in. Maybe an opportunity here. 5 versus 5. It feels like this battle lasts forever. And still no kill. Maybe now? No, the Ancestral denies it. They could go for Maiev, and they try to, but it's not enough to get them the final hit. How is nobody dying in these fights? This fight has been going on for more than a minute. And they're still chasing them. Maiev comes in after tapping the fountain. They're going for it again. And it's just an endless battle with nobody falling, nobody dying. And they're all disengaging, going for towers again. They're just like, alright, let's try it again later. The only winner in this one was essentially Cassia, who's now at 33 stacks. Not nearly in the time frame that we normally want to have that amount of stacks, but at least she was able to start catching up a bit, since she was trailing far behind. So it is wild. Now, top side, this is where the shrine is now up. But yeah, it is a bit of a crazy one. It's crazy to me that nobody has fought in that last battle. I mean, what? Poor Tychus Master Assassin. I mean, again, we talked about it already. It's not a talent you pick to complete it. If you can, amazing, but it's usually not happening. But at the same time, I think you still kind of want this one to feel a bit better around it. Imperius with the kill. Now we are talking. Cassia goes down. That is the first kill for the red team. So, reverse. They finally killed the hero. And now might be able to use the numbers advantage. Keep in mind that everybody that is still alive is melee. And so once that you're in that spot, it starts to become a bit awkward because your range damage healer is missing. If you want to defend properly, you gotta engage them. And that opens up kill opportunities. Now what we're getting instead is level 16 talents. So 16 is on the board. And for both teams, that gives us again Templar's Verdict over here and the Titan Grenade. But with the objective being up, it's the blue team that makes the first move. And now we're 12 or 11 minutes into the game, so now these things start to hurt a little bit more. I'm not saying this is insanely dangerous, it's gonna kill your entire map, but after 11 minutes when you're going for the Protector, you should be a little bit careful. Don't throw it away too quickly. So yeah, objective still does some damage. But it can be a tricky one, as we've seen in countless Reddit videos over the last few years. Now, either way, the battle just rages on the entire game somewhere on the map. It just feels once someone moves out of a bigger team fight, they just run into another opponent in a few seconds on a different lane or location, and then the whole party starts again. Cassia is at 42 stacks, so doing pretty okay here too. But they are now taking control over the beacon, over the checkpoint at the top. Okay, so who can take this one? Who's going to be able to go for the second objective and make the big play there? One kill for one. Next attack already coming. Yeah, starting to make a move, but Ibarra still totally fine over here. Start to get a kill maybe on Tychus. They have 99%, so they are about to claim it, but they're losing a hero. Blue team, they are heavily ahead on the objective, but they just lost Imperius. Sorry, no, they killed Imperius. My bad. They killed Imperius. Not only are they ahead, they killed Imperius and now hope to follow it up with the second kill. So it is indeed Team Beast Titan that is starting to get farther ahead here and really bring the momentum to game number 1 over. So Tigers goes down 2. And yes, they haven't even taken the objective yet. Instead, they're just chasing and looking for kills. And with them pushing also the lanes out, it allows their minions to do damage at the top side fort. Maybe not enough to eliminate it without help, but hey, baby steps, right? Every single move that you make matters eventually. 3 kills to 1, and they get the first fort. So not too shabby, not too bad. Yeah, they go for the healing camp too. It's a bit dangerous right now. They have at least talents, but need to wait for their 5th hero to come back. Without Tychus, without their only ranged, it is unlikely that they're going to engage into a fight. And now it's of course time for the Punisher. So after they did all of the work at the top lane, without his help, now is the moment when they're starting to go for the mid lane fort. Damage output, once again, 42,000 for Tychus, 43,000 for Cassia. She is currently in the driver's seat there, together with Diablo. But that's the end of the fort in the mid lane. And now the question, what are they pulling off at the bottom of the map? Can they take that one out as well? It has already taken a significant amount of damage. It's another 50 seconds. I mean, just a little bit of a commitment here should probably take this one on. But they also want to ensure that they're not losing any heroes. They know they are ahead, so there's an underdog bonus. So you want to make sure that now is the time where you maybe... Well, at least don't lose anybody. If you can kill someone, fantastic. But if that's not the case, then at least make sure that you're not losing anyone so the opponent can catch up too quickly. Because Storm Talons are a very, very big deal. And if you have them, your opponent doesn't, then that is likely going to determine the fight. But they want the wall. And I don't blame them for that. Taking the wall out makes perfect sense. Should probably not overstay. Move back at some point. But yeah, next to the attack is coming there. And now, do they still maintain that pressure? Seems like they are. The 5 versus 5. There's no level 20 for Team Reverse. Nothing. That is gonna get nasty. Here's the delivery. They want to kill on Imperius. I think Reverse is in real trouble here. They're losing Imperius, and they're going to lose more than that. They're going to lose all their dignity. 5 kills, 6 kills, 7 kills, 2-1. And all of a sudden, that siege up play by Team Beast Titan is looking better and better and better. So, keep is down, and they're going for the core. I mean, there's only 2 defenders. Granted, Tychus is one of them. But it's just amusing to me that they're immediately making the choice towards the core. They're not even hesitating. They know that 3 heroes are down for more than half a minute at the time. So I guess we're going to go straight to game number 5. Great performance. Nicely done. Storm Talons against no Storm Talons. And it is indeed Team Beast Titan. With 30% on the core, now Tychus also falling. This is definitely game. So it is a 5-mapper. We're going the distance in our first series of the day, the winner bracket semi-final. Team Beast Titan, they take the victory in Volskaya and force the 5th map in the series. Ordrek Pass, map number 5. We're going the distance in this series, so we're down to the final map, everyone. And Vala gets banned, so now the first question that I have, is Sergeant Hammer getting banned, yes or no? It kind of feels like they have to ban her. But Team Beast Titan, they had 2 maps now where they were really dominant. And then, okay, they banned Diablo instead. So there is now a chance to pick up Sergeant Hammer in the first rotation. Hogger gets taken first. It is a good map for Hogger. I mean, which map isn't? But yeah, it's a crazy series. I'm very happy that we're going to a 5-mapper. Didn't quite expect that we will go the full distance in this one. But yeah, let's see. So, with that, double pick over on the left side. And it's Rhaegar, and we get Junkrat. Okay, so the red is in. We're still going for some Overwatch heroes. Now the moment of truth. Sergeant Hammer, yes or no? If Sergeant Hammer doesn't get picked at this point, I believe chances are that she's gonna get banned out at the 3rd position from Team Beast Titan again. It's highly likely. But this game is gonna decide. There's the Sergeant. Sergeant Hammer and a Nuburak. This game is going to decide which team moves on to the winner bracket final and which team drops down into the losers bracket and has to try for another run there. So, yeah, blue team, the one to ban. They could have banned Sergeant Hammer out. They could have decided that Diablo is absolutely worth leaving up and that instead they want to get rid of the Sergeant. They decided against it. Now they're at least eliminating Tracer, who they had problems with earlier. But they have to play now against Sergeant Hammer again. And there's tools against her. You can still play Chromie. You can still play... I guess they could pick Stitches again. That worked well. Not sure if they would, but hey, there's a lot of possibilities for them now. And given the fact that we are likely going to get Capybara again on the tank, there's of course always his Chen. He showed his Chen main tank already once. Maybe he's willing to bust it out a second time. But as we're heading into the next pick phase for them, first double pick, there's Chen and there is Zeratul. Okay. Now, this doesn't automatically mean that we're going to get the Chen main tank. It's likely, given the players, given the team. But they could still go like, okay, Chen side lane, another main tank, and then Zeratul to roam. They could do that too, just to manage expectations a little bit. But yes, Chen main tank is now a real possibility. I mean, was it already? But against Sergeant Hammer, it of course becomes also more interesting. Brightwing and... I mean, this is a good draft. The Nubarak Blaze, then Hogger, that triple front line again that they played with before when they were picking Sergeant Hammer. And then also Brightwing who can help with the Poly. So that leaves us with a final pick for Team Beast Titan as we're heading into the 5th and final map of the series. So as it comes to the Korea Cup... This could be where Team Beast Titan drops down into the losers bracket, which would be a surprise, but Team Reverse is playing well. Chen main tank confirmed, and we get Maiev plus Zeratul. Ladies and gentlemen, the final map in the best of 5. Final map, we're going the distance. Capybara on Chen as expected. We have Maiev and Zeratul to help him out here, with Junkrat being the only range damage dealer, and we get Rhaegar. So, this is going to get interesting. As I said, I absolutely adore Capybara's Chen, even in the main tank position. He played it incredibly well in the previous tournament, and now he's trying here once more. I believe we've already seen it in the round of 8 matches in the winner bracket. He did great. Now we have them up against a lot of stuns though, so Team Reverse is playing with the Nubarak, Hogger and Blaze at the front. Brightwing is offering additional CC, so this is going to make the life of any melee a lot harder. And then, for the 4th time now in this series, Sergeant Hammer. And they're already trying to make a play down at the bottom of the map for Chen, who's still able to get out. A lot of CC, a lot of tools that can shut a hero down. So how is this going to play out for the blue team? We're going to find out. But Sergeant Hammer was a winning strategy in most games where Team Reverse played it. So now the big question, can they win this? Yes, no. Early game, obviously, the displacement of Junkrat is going to be highly successful against Sergeant Hammer before the level 7 talent gets ready for them. And they actually got a Nubarak pretty low too, forcing him to Hearth as well. So he already went back to the Nexus. Zeratul, on the other hand, we've seen a lot of cleave lately, trying to sometimes even go for wombo combos with Diablo and go Void Prison into Apocalypse, but in this case we get on at level 1 Shadow Hunter, so that is already indicating that we're very likely looking at a Might of the Nerazim play for Zeratul, which of course also makes a lot of sense here, but has to be careful how they are approaching this and who they are targeting. I mean, there's always the chance to go for Brightwing directly and eliminate the healer of the opponent's team. But then you have also Sergeant Hammer, so yeah, Talking Hammer attacked again over here. The question with that will still be, how much can they do? How many heroes can they actually take out in this case with that Pacific combo? And will Zeratul, for example, just jump into a stun and then get eliminated? That's another issue that they have to at some point figure out. Because again, the amount of CC is pretty big. That Poly alone is already a nuisance, so there's a lot that can happen for them. But the party continues at the top, and this time it is rain that falls. Team Beast Titan with some value plays. So Team Beast Titan able to do the work, but the right wingers to help out. Oh, and that one's clutch. That one is really clutch. Nice, done. And it's the end of Junkrat. And that was a close call there. I mean, damn. Brightwing gets killed too, so it's a kill for a kill. But Junkrat really just tag teamed by Nubarak and by Blaze, and that's worked perfectly. But now they're losing 2 heroes on the way back. So what started off as a great little fight for the red team is now all of a sudden turning against them as they're losing 2 of their heroes. Amongst them also their support. So that is tricky. And quite annoying. Not really a big lead and experience that they can capitalize on through that. Rotation towards the top now to try and deal with Sergeant Hammer, who is still sieging up on some of the structures. Yeah, and Junkrat is already making the move here. Move for the camp. Opposite side has of course done the same thing. I mean, it's still one of the most important camps that you have to take there. Good attack at the top then again. Now they're trying to make a move for Maiev. She's low. Sergeant Hammer is also in a bit of trouble. Capybara wants to kill and gets it. So there it is. Sergeant Hammer is gone and Brightwing is gone as well. That's 5 kills, 2-1. And finally level 7 for Sergeant Hammer. But that one was nice for them. That was actually very, very cool. Them being able to get this many kills here early on and then pushing for the wall, that's pretty fantastic. As far as starts into Aldrich Pass go, this is definitely up there. Bit of a lead and experience that resulted in it. More dominance on the map itself. Bottom of the map, talking about being dominant, they're going for the next kill and they are able to take down Blaze. This is getting a bit problematic. Team Reverse was twice in the lead, but now they are getting bullied around. Quite heavily, I should say. So it is a bit wild. It's not looking all that great. Now we have, yeah, Hogger jumping out. But the problem is that with all the dominance that they showed so far, they're now also making moves to just scale straight up for the first objective. 1 level lead. Hogger down, that's kill number 7. Show some mercy over here. Stop. They're already dead. I mean, they're not yet, but they might as well be. So many kills this early in the game. Now the play for the objective. They are doing a number on them. So the red team has to stabilize. They have so much CC. They should be able to make some moves here. They really should be able to. But up to now, not a lot of it has happened yet. So the first objective gets easily claimed by the blue team. They now have level 10 abilities with it. Rocket Ride again. Seems more and more like this is not just a pick that has been made yesterday because they thought they were ahead of the opponent, but they are really going for Rocket Ride as an actual talent. Very similar to what we've seen, for example, with Anduin going bubble over and over again. Something you would never see in the Western scene, where Light Bomb is just the talent to pick and go for. But in this case, at least, it is absolute havoc that they're wreaking. No talent yet on Rega. I mean, honestly, I don't really see that you're going Bloodlust here. Hogger gets killed again. They're going for Sergeant Hammer. And that obviously is really annoying if you're Hammer now. Topside Fort is about to get dropped. That's actually pretty cool. So Rocket Ride against Sergeant Hammer is essentially the idea that they are using here. This, as a Sergeant Hammer player, that would annoy me. That would definitely annoy me. When you have a Rocket Ride coming at you time and time again, I mean, it's a pretty big map. Hogger is now already back down at the bottom of the map, so there's definitely potential to make some plays with it. There was a time when some of the North American teams, for example, when Deathwing was part of the meta, when they did the similar thing. They actually used Rocket Ride on Junkrat to counteract Deathwing and counterplay him a little bit, because he's a very big hitbox and had a huge problem moving away from it in time. So he was essentially always eating damage, and that allowed you to apply pressure onto Deathwing and then oftentimes as a follow-up take him out. So the thought isn't necessarily new, but at least against this hero I've not seen in competitive play too much of this being used. 8 kills to 1. 1 level advantage. I mean, at the end of the day, kills are nice, but they only... What you want is a... Oh, they went Bloodlust. Is a structure lead. Bloodlust. Disc is missing. Yeah. But they get Sergeant Hammer regardless. So Sergeant Hammer is now out. Rocket Ride with another quick hit. This time, not a kill. Yeah. The blue team is unleashed. They fell behind twice. And now another stun, another play. Bunker is already out trying to save the retreating team reverse. And it is currently not happening. They're losing way too much ground in this. Maybe they're losing Blaze now too. He's trying to escape, taps the fountain, but gets stopped by Chen. And again, a lot of this is also thanks to Chen and his plays, how he, as Fat Illidan, can just jump in and absolutely annoy everyone. So they are blocking paths, he's body blocking a lot, he's trying to cut off retreat paths too, and it's working for them. It's working for them really well. They're able to do lots and lots of damage with this. We have 10 kills to 1, 1 fort has been destroyed. It's way too early to call the game, specifically with all of the comebacks that we've seen, not only in this tournament, but in this series. But it simply means that this is going to be a tricky one. So, bringing this one back, not easy. Objective number 2. A trying fight again. Still have that level 13 talent advantage that will be negated, of course, in a moment. But then on top of that, you have Khaldor pushing out the bot lane a bit, forcing Junkrat to react to it, or they would lose way too many hit points. You don't want to give that up for free if you can help it. Talking about giving things up for free. And Uberak needs to be a bit careful. Nearly gave up on life here. Sergeant Hammer attacked again. It's the Sergeant Hammer annoyance squad, and dead again. Bloodlust used just as Chen came in with the ult. And that is another kill against Sergeant Hammer. So this time, this play is just not working out for them. Sergeant Hammer was a problem before, now they have solved the equation. Hogger comes out, Shockwave, tries to save his life. They try to do anything that would allow them to take control of that game again. And so far, it's just not working out. So the team is on the run. It is a 4 versus 5 now. Yeah, Junkrat still alive. Zeratul also just diving in, darting out time and time again, looking for opportunities for kills, trying to push them further back here, trying to go for the objective again, where they're sitting at 16 seconds right now that they still need. So they take the lead again on this, but the aggression. I mean, honestly, just like the amount of pressure that we're getting from the blue team. They are not happy with how this series played out so far, and I totally don't blame them. Team Reverse has an opportunity to cause this upset, and they've been doing such a great job in this series, but it seems that right now it might be a little bit too much for them to handle. They're pushing back, they're fighting back, they're looking for chances, for opportunities to get a kill themselves, but one of the reasons why the blue team was actually willing to fall back here is that they are getting closer and closer to level 16. And once that they have level 16 talents, I mean, we all know what's going on there. A big power spike on the next talent tier, then easily a push for the objective again, and trying to run with another wave of cavalry spawning through the map. So, yeah, it's tough times for them right now. Objective gets channeled, and they are about to claim it, but Maiev got stopped. She was attempting to sneak it. So now it's 8 seconds. Oh, but the stun comp. There it is. That's the problem. But she bought some time. She bought some time for the bottom of the map, which was part of the play, of course. Now the boss is taken. That will likely destroy the bottom fort, but they paid a price for it. With Maiev gone, they lost a bit of the momentum that they were trying to build up here. And the red team, Team Reverse, is attempting to capitalize on it by moving towards the top and trying to grab the objective. If they can get the Raiders here, that would go a long way to help them get back into the game. So at all costs, as the blue team need to try and avoid it. But they're not really doing anything just yet. So are they actually allowing this? Is that the play here? After how close they were, the bottom fort is now about to fall, but still, Raiders are gonna rock and roll on the map in a moment, and they're grabbing it. The objective is taken. All happening because Maiev died. Maiev died, and well, that was essentially that. Another jump. Now they're trying to go for the fight, but keep in mind, we're still waiting for those Raiders to come out, and once they're here, they can push. Well, of course, not if they're losing heroes. And now they just lost the Nubarak. The disc is out. There comes the rocket. Oh, and Sergeant Hammer dodged it with the bunker. Dodged it with the bunker, but is still put into a corner. 6 hit points! The Sergeant alive! Sergeant Hammer on 6 hit points for a moment. You are shitting me! Absolutely insane. Guys, check this one out. Look at Hammer. Look at Hammer and the hit points. Insane. 5 was down to 5 hit points. Oh, but a Nubarak dying still allows the blue team to defend easily. So they now took some of the Raiders already out. 16 is finally ready, the talent here for Team Reverse. They're fighting back as best as they can. But it's still an absolute wild game. I mean, it is a crazy one. It really, really is. So now the big question, can they bring this back? Is there an opportunity to now make a couple of sexy plays in order to get them into a good spot again? They've started a comeback, but the question is still, how far can they go with this? Top side gets pressured, so they're starting to exchange structures. One team pushing in the middle, the other team pushing very quickly over at the top. Fort gets destroyed, and the same has now happened on the side of Team Reverse, but it doesn't change the fact that they're 2 levels behind, so there's still a big gap between them. And here comes that roaming death squad again. The disc is out against Blaze, so he's already being hit. Here comes Bloodlust. The aggressive combos from them are so damn good. Even the CC chain that we're seeing from the red team are not enough to stop it. So down goes Sergeant Hammer. They want the counter kill against Maiev. They get it, but the fight is by no means over. Zeratul is just darting in, out. Cleaves gets the Singularity Spike through. Now we have a Nubarak falling, and the rest of the team is on the run as well. Brightwing barely escaping, but Hogger doesn't, so he goes down too. That's 3 heroes dead on one side, and the 4th will follow. So it is again, the blue team with the big hits, and now probably the boss at their top. Huge plays by them. 30,000 damage by Chen alone. Chen is sitting at 30,000 damage, which is really respectable here, but is by no means the top damage of the game. We got 38,000 for Maiev, for example. Junkrat is on 28, which means that Chen has actually more damage than Junkrat, and Zeratul on 33. So, yeah, it's an absolute wild series right now, and it really feels that the blue team is just coming in and says, like, I am going to murder we are going to murder everything in our path. We are going to win this series no matter what. For the red team, now that they're missing out on level 20 talent and the gap has widened to that big of an extent, it will be tough. It's gonna be really tricky for the red team now. The problem is just simply the gap is so big. If the gap was a little bit smaller, it would be easier to play around it and maybe get to 20 and then fight back. But now we have the Keg upgrade, so we're going here into the untapped potential for Chen. Bloodlust has been upgraded. That's a huge... I mean, the power spikes that we're getting with those Storm talents for the team are honestly a little bit ridiculous. So they are looking amazing with that. And the red team is not going to be willing to fight any of this if they can avoid it. And I mean, why would they? It's not going to be easy for them to win any of these fights. So a lot of the siege that is happening here will just not be answered. It's a 2-level gap. Don't close that within just a short period of time. Hogger is at the top lane right now. I mean, he's going to be trying. He's going to be trying to do his best here, but, well, good luck with that, my friend. I don't see it. And, of course, once that the objective is in, now that we're a bit later in the game, it also means that this is going to hit a little bit harder. So, yeah, they're going to go for the next set of cavalries. And that is going to destroy the first keeps. And once that the keeps are gone, it essentially simply means that you're losing the armor shield on the core. And with that, there's a chance to finally end the game. So, I don't envy the position of the red team at all. I mean, how do you play this now? Is 1 level to soak until 20? I appreciate that they were doing as good a job as they could in order to get there, but it's still an entire level. And the cavalry is showing up without mercy. I would be surprised if they don't lose 2 keeps now. 2 keeps are likely gonna get lost. And once that's the case, then your opponent can make plays for the core. So middle is already attacked, but then again with Sergeant Hammer, they're actually defending much faster than I thought. So yeah, maybe it's not happening. 1 keep at least should be destroyed. Down at the bottom, they've already done a good opening, good start. So the attacks still coming on this, still coming in. Yeah, here comes Bloodlust. Keg, the untapped potential. And Nubarak tries to dive out. Chen is on him immediately. And Nubarak is gone. So is the keep at the bot lane. But I mean, kudos to them. 1 keep is all that they lost here. But they lost Hogger now as well. And now with Hogger all of a sudden gone, that is kind of changing things a little bit. So yeah, now you've lost 2. Oh, no, oh, the Sergeant, the bunker, they want it. And here comes the rocket, baby. Yes, the big hit. Rocket Ride is just fun. The disc on Sergeant Hammer as Brightwing get killed. And now Sergeant Hammer is gone. Alright, they're going to end it here. Level 20 is ready for the red team, for Team Reverse, but it is not enough. They go for core after all the shields have been removed. Amazing last game for Team Beast Titan. They win the series with a 3-2 victory and send Team Reverse into the losers bracket as they themselves advance to the winner bracket final. GG and well played.